More than 400 Housing Commission tenants are being evicted from their homes along Sydney's waterfront. The state government is selling off properties at Millers Point and the Rocks, blaming the high cost of maintenance. Residents say they'll fight the move to relocate them. State political reporter Bridget Glanville.
This is the million-dollar view the state government wants to cash in on. The Sirius building in the Rocks is home to 79 public housing units and will soon be up for sale. Heritage-listed terraces down the road in Millers Point will also go under the hammer, but it won't be an easy sale.
We're not talking about money here, we're talking about people's lives, right? And I don't know, I'm just astounded.
Feet first before I move. That's how I'll go out the front door. Feet first. I don't care if they get the coppers or anything down here. I'm going to be a squatter, and that's as simple as that.
The government will rehouse 400 tenants over the next 2 years.
This is saying to public housing tenants that we have a very valuable asset here, and we have 57,000 people on the waiting list that we need to support. Every dollar of this will go back into the social housing system.
The government is refusing to put a price on the sale of these properties here in Millers Point and also in the Rocks. But what we do know is it's estimated that the sale of one of these terraces alone will build 4 new public housing properties for other families. Residents rallied in 2008 when the previous Labor government sold 29 properties in the same area. They say they'll fight to save the remaining 214.
What we've seen here is a government who bent over backwards to give a billionaire a casino, but is turfing out 400 low-income workers from their vital housing.
The opposition says the coalition is determined to get rid of all inner-city public housing.
This is part of our city, this is part of our history, and this government is going to smash it all up and is going to sell it and is not going to invest in public or social housing.
The state government says it'll work with tenants to find them new homes.
The state government's sell-off of 300 properties along Sydney's waterfront has left residents across the harbour feeling nervous. Public housing tenants in the Greenway building at Kirribilli are wondering whether their homes will be next on the auction block.
It opened in the 50s to provide affordable housing close to the city. Now the blue ribbon location's making residents anxious.
I am worried because we've got the train station opposite, we've got all the availability, we've got the harbour down there, we've got a $1 million view and it's beautiful here.
Just across the bridge, residents' homes will be sold, creating expensive real estate for those who can pay.
They can't even let them stay there to die, elderly people. The rich are given everything, and if you're poor, you're usually put in the suburbs where you've got no availability to traffic, to transport or anything.
Those affected say they're devastated.
It's just a destruction of a community. It's a mass eviction.
Facing eviction, worried about the future, these public housing residents are angry and ready to resist any moves for relocation.
We want to march with you, alongside you and with you always until everyone keeps their housing. Well done to all of you.
The government says the sell-off will generate hundreds of millions of dollars, every cent of which it's promising will go back into the social housing sector. Sydney's Lord Mayor isn't convinced.
Low-income people have as much right to live in the city and to live in Millers Point as rich people, and what the Minister is proposing, it is a case of social cleansing.
The government says the homes are too costly to maintain.
There's not a bloody thing wrong with the Sirius apartments. It's only 34 years old.
Residents say the real cost will be the loss of a caring community.
Housing Commission gave me this unit and I was desperate. I needed help. I was on my own with a child to raise, didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do. I was working, I was a full-time mum, but couldn't find any help. They said, do you want this house? Make sure you do, because not everybody hates in the waiting list this place. It's the wharfies area, it's rough, it's noisy. I loved it. I loved it. I love noises. I love wharfies or whatever they were. I didn't care. They were nice to me. They always said hello. They were very respectful to me. It was working class people. That's what I was. I was a waitress.
happy to. Yeah, that's fine.
Sweet.
You've got to get some. Are you guys going to climb on that thing?
I want Prue Gower to know who we are. Who are we? Who are we? We're involved in this campaign because we heard last week by Prue Gower, who is weak and despicable. Weak and despicable. And I'm not concerned in the slightest for saying that, because there she was in the middle of the Carl Expressway with no notice to the community, no notice to anybody that you would be thrown out of your houses. And guess what she did? She stood in front of Channel 9 and Channel 7 and the Daily Telegraph, and what did she say? We're going to chuck these people out in the street because they don't deserve to live in a public house. That's the argument that she was running. She was pretending that it cost $500,000 or $1 million to fix each house. We know that that's rubbish. We know that there's corruption down there, which has meant that contractors have gone and ripped money out of the government to make sure the government can get rid of those houses. Together, fight together, we'll always win. Well done. Give yourselves a round of applause. Who are we? Here to stay. Here to stay. Here to stay. Millers Point. Here to stay. Millers Point. Here to stay. Here to stay.
A special thanks to the MUA for organising today. I have to say, ever since the government's blitzkrieg attack on Millers Point last week, I've seen some pretty destroyed souls in this place. But when I looked at your faces as the MUA was just crossing Kent Street back there, that was a great sign of confidence. As you know, I am here for you to support you however I can. And there are people currently looking at political avenues for support, legal avenues for challenging this, and obviously we need to continue to build a very strong community campaign to challenge this with direct action.
I want to bring up now a hero of mine, Barney Gardner. Where are you, comrade? I want to let you know, about 6 months ago, Barney came up to the union rooms and said, listen, I think we're in some trouble here. There's a lot of rumours getting around that this state government's going to try and do something about Millers Point, trying to get rid of us out of our homes. I said, well, I reckon they're a heartless mob up there, but I don't think they would show the contempt for people in this state by throwing you out on your rear. I don't believe it, but we'll sit with you in this campaign and see how it goes. But it will be years before they do anything because they've made no announcements. Barney knew what they were going to do to this community, and it's because of people like Barney and Bob and others who have stood up from the day dot and said that we must fight and fight together as a community that has given us the capacity to come here today and fight alongside you. He deserves everyone's respect. He deserves a massive round of applause. He's a great man. Well done, Barney.
Paul and all the dignitaries here that have supported us from day one will win this. We'll win this because of people like you and people like Paul and the politicians that we have here today. But the main thing is we will win this because we are all together in it. And if we stick solid, we will win it and we will stay in our homes. And we won't let these bastards move us out. These uncaring bastards who sit in their ivory tower and look down on us and think, well, I'll get a few of me rich mates to buy in down there. But that's not on. We've got people here that have been here for 4, 5, 6 generations. What, they're not allowed to live here? When it was a dirty industrial place, no one wanted to live here. We stuck it out. Our mums and dads fought for us to live here. They worked the wharves. Their mums and dads before them, and now yous are here. It don't matter whether you work on the wharves now. It don't matter. You're a low-income earners. You deserve as much right as these friggin' rich people. And we will not let them come down with their buckets of money because they've got one thing haven't got that we've got, and that is the heart and the spirit of this place.
Congratulations to all of you for marching along with the wonderful unions, the MUA, fantastic turnout, thank you Paul, the ETU, the FBEU, and many other unions, and apologise if I've left you out. I'd also like to acknowledge we have community members amongst us who are also residents, who are private residents, who are supporting the community, and congratulations to you. Thank you very much for your support. This is going to be a long fight. This is going to be a long fight because we have a vicious government in Macquarie Street. We have seen that Prue Goward is not only heartless, but she doesn't understand the soul and the spirit that the beginning of Australia's economic prosperity started down at the wharves, just down the road there where your fathers, where your grandfathers, where many of you worked night and day, where you toiled and you sweated and you bled to ensure that many of us had the best economic life that we can and what we have today. This is a community. It's not just about the rich people or the poor people. This is a community, and every time I visited down here, you can feel the love of the community.
I'd like to also acknowledge that we're meeting on Aboriginal land, on Gadigal land, land that was never ceded, sold or given away. And we can say the same thing here. You guys haven't ceded, sold or given away your homes, and you shouldn't have to. I'm a public housing tenant from Redfern, and I've got to say the assassination squad came to Redfern and Waterloo 2 years ago. The same people who came down here and said, we're going to do a social impact assessment. Yeah, terrific. Who's read the social impact assessment? 3 choices. No sales, 50% sales, 100% sales. And every option called for the protection of the people who've lived here for generations. And what did the results come out as? Not accepted. This government will not accept anything that's for the working people, for the poor people, for the low-income earners. I'll tell you about 2 buildings, and I think that these 2 buildings will tell you the whole story. One is Packer's Penis being built on Barangaroo. A monument to the rich, the spoilt and the greedy. A casino that even we aren't allowed to go to. And what's on the other side? Sirius, a building that was specifically built for pensioners, for the poor, for people to age in place. And what are they going to do with that? They're going to sell it to the same bastards who are buying into Packer's Penis. This is appalling. This is appalling. You people need to stand. We've got a long fight. They're very tricky. 2 years. That's a long fight we've got to fight. And we've got to stay concerned because, my friends, this is the tip of the iceberg. Today, Millers Point. Tomorrow, Erskineville. The next day, Glebe. Then Redfern and Waterloo. We're all under the threat of this heartless, soulless, neoliberal government. And we will, as a member of the Greens, we will stand with you, as will the other speakers who've spoken before me. It's your fight. We're here to stand with you, not to take over, but to be there, to stand in front of your doorways when they come with the heavy boys to throw you out. So, congratulations. It's a long fight, and we've all got to stand together.
It's very important that when you get these phone calls of intimidation, harassment and the threats, that you don't answer them. When they ask you to have a meeting in their nice voice, oh hi, I'm here to help. I just want to come and, can you come and talk to us? I want to tell you about this beautiful house. It's 475 kilometres away. You know, there's 4 people that live there. They're all very nice. You know, when they ring you up and they're speaking very nicely with a soft, nice voice and tell you how much they love you and how much they're going to help you, just say, doot, 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 hang it up. And if you're not rude like me, then just say, I want to get some legal advice. And I won't be speaking to you until I get some legal advice. We've got my comrade from the Fire Brigades Employees Union, Mr. Jim Casey, someone who is always willing to stand beside the MUA, as we are to him. He's a fighter for social justice, he's a fighter for the working class, and we're very, very, very glad that he's alongside us here today. Look, brothers and sisters, it's a privilege to be here today, and I've got to say, I'll be brief. After the calibre of what the speakers have gone before me have said, there's not a great deal I can add. There is one thing I can add, though, and that's the reason why I think you're going to win. Sophie nailed it. This is a particularly mean and tricky government. I mean, these people are vicious. You think about what they're doing to education, to health, to my job. They're shutting fire stations around the state temporarily. There's going to be job cuts and station closures coming, and yeah, it's shameful. So it's the schools, it's the hospitals, it's your emergency services. And right now, you poor mongrels are really in the crosshairs because it's your homes. Which is what, I think in some ways, this has got the potential to be a little bit of a line in the sand for working people in this city, and working people in this state. We are under attack on so many fronts at the moment, so we need to pick one, and we need to win it. The first step in that is going to be what I think is going to be the most amazing acts of resistance from you people, saying you're not leaving your homes. And that puts the gauntlet down on the ground for people like me all around this state to say, all right, you've had a dig, we've got to back you in. Your fight is our fight. What this is, as I said before, it's the first stage in this campaign. You told us that you would not get thrown out of your houses without a fight. And as Jim said, that's why we've come down and supported you. If you make the next decision to actively struggle against that, to ensure that no thug can come into your house and steal away your rights and dignity, we will be there as well. Who are we? Miller's Point! Who are we? Miller's Point! Public housing, here to stay.